Great news for fans of the DC Comics universe. The first of many new superhero movies from Warner Bros. Kicks off in 2016 with the release of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, starring Henry Cavill as Clark Kent/Superman and Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and his crime-fighting alter ego Batman. This is the movie that fans have been waiting decades for. Along with my co-host C-Dub, my name is JC, and welcome to Chronocord on Film, where we preview and review the best in classic and modern motion pictures. Today we will be covering the full-length trailer of Batman vs. Superman that premiered at Comic-Con in July of 2015. An eternal question in the world of superheroes has always been who would win a fight between Batman and Superman. I've always preferred Batman, the greatest of the non-superhuman comic book characters. His detective skills and amazing arsenal of vehicles and gadgets goes unmatched. The question is, can the mortal Batman defeat Superman and his godly powers? C-Dub, which superhero do you prefer, and who do you think would win in a fight?
I've always been more of a fan of Batman, despite the photographic evidence of me as a kid at Halloween at about 4 years old, dressed up as Superman. I've always kind of identified with the more dark side. Batman, Bruce Wayne. He's always moody. He's pissed because his parents got killed. And as far as who do I think would win, you raised a good point about Batman being mortal, but with all that wealth that he has, I mean, he's got some pretty cool gadgets for a mortal. I don't know here, JC. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and go with my favorite and pick Bruce Wayne, the Dark Knight himself, Batman.
I would have to disagree with you, C-Dub. As much as I love Batman, I think Superman is just too powerful to die. Alright, let's now break down the trailer. It starts out with a quote from a politician played by Holly Hunter saying, "Today is a day for truth. The world needs to know what happened." Now, we are guessing she's referring to the events in Man of Steel where Superman and General Zod had a knockdown, drag-out fight. Superman is then shown landing on the steps of the Capitol building and walking into a congressional hearing. We then see a flashback of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne in a city street watching as a building is being decimated by what looks like Superman or General Zod's laser vision. Bruce runs towards the crumbling structure but is confronted by a wall of smoke and debris. A panned-out shot shows him embracing a child as a Wayne Financial insignia is seen laying damaged on the ground. We then hear the politician again saying, "The committee holds Superman responsible." We see a quick shot of what might be a deserted Wayne Manor, followed by an underground view of what is most likely the Batcave. Alfred, played by the great Jeremy Irons, begins to say, "That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, that turns good men cruel." As we see Bruce looking at a newspaper clipping about the Wayne Tower disaster with presumed writing from the Joker saying, "You let your family die." We see a clip of Bruce training and then him staring down the Batman outfit in his armory. A voice speaking says this Batman is a one-man reign of terror, as we see a man tied up with a Batman logo imprinted onto his skin. Then Lawrence Fishburne, playing Perry White, is telling Clark Kent at the Daily Planet, "Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman, but we know most certainly that Clark does." We see scenes of Lois Lane and Clark's mother encouraging Superman to use the symbol as a sign of hope and to be Earth's hero, or be none of it at all. Then the diabolical Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, is seen talking to the politician, warning that devils come from above and not below. Then Superman and Lex Luthor are face to face with Superman kneeling before Lex, and then looking up with a very displeased look on his face. A quick glimpse of General Zod's corpse is then shown, followed by Batman in the Batcave looking at a suit with more Joker writing on it that says, "Haha, joke's on you, Batman." Superman is then seen in a sandy corridor with soldiers wearing a Superman logo on their outfit, as Bruce is saying Superman has the power to wipe out the entire human race. And then Batman, in an extra-strength armored bat suit, cranks up the bat signal as Bruce states, "We have to destroy him." Let the games begin. Some quick clips are then shown, including riders on horseback on a mountain ridge, a flashback of Bruce's parents being murdered and buried, the Batwing flying over a scorched landscape, quick shots of Lois Lane, Bruce Wayne again, and then the legendary Wonder Woman in action, followed by a devastating electro explosion. As Alfred is saying, "You're going to war, he is not our enemy." We see Batman in the desert fighting some of the Superman troops, and the Batmobile in a warehouse district with Batman fighting some thugs. We see our first shot of the LexCorp building, followed by Lex admiring a giant piece of kryptonite. Then my favorite scene of the whole trailer where Batman jumps on Superman through the roof of a building. For those who thought the human Batman couldn't keep up with the superhuman Superman, think again. Luthor then describes the battle between the two superheroes as shots of Wonder Woman being thrown into a wall, Superman soaring over burning ruins, Batman grappling quickly away from a Superman laser vision beam, and then Superman hovering above the city as Batman breaks through a window. Lex Luthor is then shown at the end saying, "The red capes are coming," as Superman approaches a battered Batmobile, rips off the doors like they're pieces of plastic, and comes face to face with his nemesis and potential ally, Batman. Wow, what an amazing trailer, C-Dub. Probably watched it 5 times in a row. Lots of great hints were dropped in there. What is your impression of the Batman vs. Superman trailer?
I think this promises to be the biggest shot heard yet in the DC versus Marvel cinematic war we have going on the big screen. Marvel's put up a lot of huge films here in the last couple of years, and DC, other than the Dark Knight trilogy, hasn't really done much. That's no knock on the Superman films, but honestly, they didn't really grip me. I heard a lot of really mixed reviews. Nevertheless, I think this is going to prove to be the start of DC's really stepping up to the plate and coming into this fight and actually fighting up against Marvel, which has been pretty well established in Hollywood as a major entity in the last few years.
The big casting story out of this movie was that of Ben Affleck as Batman. When I first heard the news, I wasn't too thrilled, but after seeing the trailer, I'm very interested to see him portray an older version of Bruce Wayne. C-Dub, what do you think about Ben Affleck in the role of Batman?
Well, I've heard a lot of contention as far as how Ben Affleck is going to do in this role. I thought he did just from the first look in the trailers and the limited footage that we've seen. Seems like he does a pretty good job to me, but he does have a pretty large shadow to stand in here with guys like Michael Keaton and, of course, Christian Bale, fresh off the Dark Knight trilogy. Did a fantastic job of bringing Batman to another level and a different depiction than we had seen before on the big screen. I'm hoping that Ben Affleck really steps into this role and steps up to the plate and surprises a lot of people.
We got to see some snippets of Wonder Woman in there, and it's been said that other DC heroes such as Aquaman and The Flash will be appearing in Dawn of Justice. We had hints of the Joker from those scenes where his writing was on the newspaper and the Batsuit. C-Dub, what other DC characters do you think might make an appearance in Batman vs. Superman?
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of the villains. Of course, we do have that upcoming Suicide Squad movie, and in that we're going to see some pretty big villains there, like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Killer Croc. I have a funny feeling with that being the next in the DC Comics cinematic series of movies that they're going for here. I'm feeling that they're going to tie that in with this movie and keep people really anticipating that next release, in this case, the Suicide Squad movie, much as Marvel has.
Villain-wise, we've seen shots of Lex Luthor. Wasn't too big with the casting of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex, but from what we see in the trailer, he certainly brings an awkwardly creepy approach to the role. There's bound to be another major villain or two making an appearance in the movie. We're just not quite sure who or what it will be yet. I have a feeling Batman and Superman will eventually find common ground to take on Luthor and other, as of yet, unrevealed bad guys. That wraps it up here. Thanks so much for tuning in to our review and reaction to the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice trailer. As the title implies, this is just the beginning of many more Justice League films. Stay tuned to Chronocord Media and our series Chronocord on Film, as we will be bringing you the latest news relating to the new DC superhero movies. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our latest videos, including music, gaming, TV, movies, sports, and much more. For C-Dub, I'm JC. We'll see you in Gotham City.